Trump saving the markets this morning from a pretty nasty would-be open, and markets rebounding here into October expiry. But is it a bull trap? We'll talk about that. Not too many changes from yesterday, though, outside of everything else. It is Friday, October 17th, 2025. If you guys liked the video, maybe give it a like. You can comment your thoughts. You can come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Sale ends tonight at midnight too, so get in on that while you can and take advantage of it, especially active trader. That's been on fire lately. I love the volatility here in this market, and Trump just adding to it. But you can see here this morning, we had a pretty weak, well, would be weak open, and I was a little miffed about this because I was looking for weakness this morning, but I wanted a gap down. I wanted them to RTH, regular trading open this lower. And, I tell you, I woke up this morning and I see the market's down. I'm okay, we'll gap down, and I started doing a few things this morning around the house, normal morning stuff. And I looked, 20 minutes later, we're up 40 points. I'm like, that was the dip I wanted to buy, but nonetheless, they did take it up here. But it did jump on NQ for a decent little gain for a minute, but didn't get the bulk of it. Nonetheless, today was OPEX for the month of October, and I generally don't like to make too much out of the price action on these days, and I generally don't have a ton of alpha on these days because there's so much noise, there's so much pinning, and it's just going to get worse now with how the structured product issuance is just continuing to increase. But nonetheless, the markets ended up. That said, we did not recapture the 20-day. That's 5 days in a row where bears played defense here. So, and you can look at the SPY, you can look at SPX, you can look at ES, all of them rejected. So, like I said, dealers definitely stepping in and, turning kind of bear here. So, again, one thing is not like the others, right? Each of these rebounds here, as soon as we rebound, right, especially like these Mondays, this one was a Monday. I don't know if any of these were, but, these Fridays to Mondays, right, it's pretty much just a straight up move, and there's really no contest. This is different. We're sideways here. You have a bear inside bar until proven otherwise right now. So are we going to have this big crash over the weekend? Probably not. I mean, like we got, yes, there's regional bank problems, but I don't know. I'll say this: they sold a lot of volatility. I had VIX 25 penciled in as the vol seller level. I did tweet about that yesterday too. So they would step in there, and again, despite the little gap up or this including the after hours, the gap up, 25 was effectively held. Obviously, we closed, almost at the lows. So yeah, they sold a lot of vol into the weekend. They sold a lot of puts into the weekend. So I guess if there is something that comes up, maybe the market is a little vulnerable here, because it looks like everybody fearlessly bought the dip here, which I think would be way better than us selling into the weekend if you're a bear. Because, right, you sell off like that, everybody's going to panic, they're going to hedge. Now, I don't think people are holding hedges. So there's definitely something to that. And I still don't think that this whole, repo situation is done. They will be quick to plug it up, though. If things start to change, and by things change, I mean like the market, right? The market's got to start selling, and if it starts selling fast enough, they will plug it up very quickly. But that doesn't mean we can't slice pretty hard in the meantime. Next down, if 6,500 is lost on S&P, is I would say right to the 100 MA there. I mean, you got 64 and then like 63.50, and if we got down there in a straight shot, it would be pretty decent support, I would imagine. It might pierce it. You got like 6,300 even right below that as well, and we have, you could call this a bear flag if you want. We have bear flagged for 5 days now, so there's more energy. Like if we look at a 4 hour here, this is no longer oversold, right? It can. I mean, look at the ES even. I mean, this is, it got kind of there this morning, but this is reset that. So I don't know. Monday, I think lately they've been doing this, the last day of OPEX, or the first day of the new OPEX cycle, they've been really slow, like the last couple of months. like it's almost as if Monday is OPEX as well. We'll see if that continues to be the case. Or do we get a surprise? Maybe they condition people now. But bottom line, QQQ 590 held. And again, that was pre-market. You can see here, they just love that level there. So QQQ 590 holding, and support's holding at 66 on the cash S&P. And then of course, 65.50 was the low from Friday. Still has not been challenged. IWM had a weaker day here, down 0.2%. KRE did bounce. It's interesting. I thought IWM would have been down more yesterday with how much KRE was down, but it held up. And the thing I don't like though with the IWM here, that's a nasty topping tail, and that is valid. There's volume behind it, and it came the week after an engulfing candle, where you engulfed like the last 4 weeks basically. This thing just loves to fake. It loves to fake it. I mean, it kind of almost reminds me of this last time here, so careful there. But yeah, diamond here reclaiming 458, so that's still strong here. SMH down 47 cents. TSM and NVIDIA had some news. I guess the market didn't like that. TSM sold off a little bit into the close. I think it's something to do with Blackwell US, producing them in the US or something like that. NVIDIA held 180 predictably, like we expected. That was a level that just was there all week. It was there last week too. So remains buoyant here. IGV, a little bit of a limp into the weekend. The weekly chart is still okay on this though. So it never cleared that low on a closing basis. So it's still alive. I still don't like the action we got in like some stocks yesterday, like Palantir, Salesforce. Salesforce, that's not good. And Palantir and Snowflake, they were green today, but kind of weak reaction to that news yesterday. Transport's up decently, but nothing great. And again, right back into the trend line there. So that is back testing. Bonds here were kind of all over the map. 2-year down, ZT down 8 basis points. It was still up from yesterday, or still up nicely yesterday. And then you got ZN right into this big level here that goes, I think it goes way back. Yeah, you got to go back a long ways. It's a big point of control. If that breaks out, it could be interesting. There's, what would the cause be? We'll see. We'll find out. TLT inside day held 91 like I figured. I was looking for a trade here, but it just didn't really materialize this morning. I don't like trading on OPEX, honestly. In fact, I try not to, but I took one this morning. Anyway, XHB up 71 cents. Again, 200 held, had a nice reaction the other day, and the weekly, again, held the moving averages. So housing holding up. IYR had a good week too. I mean, it was up nicely today also. It almost negated that sell from last week. I mean, it basically did. So that chart's looking a lot better. I still don't love how it closed below that green bar low though. But anyway, XLF bouncing predictably. So big down day yesterday, and it did close. It looks like we closed 2 cents above last Friday's low. So I guess if there's a micro positive there, that's it. But this trend here is like starting to turn down now. Got to hold that 200 on a test, and then like really $50. After that, it can get there's a lot of air here. Speaking of air, just for looking at Monday here. I know we had a nice rally. Just want to point this out too. This is a ton of air too. So I expect this to get retested next week. And that's partly what led me to believe that we were going to be down yesterday, because there was a ton of air right here on Wednesday too. So market just went up on squeezing because of Trump. That's liquidity there that will probably need to get filled, regardless of whether they're going up or down. But yeah, anyway, XLF, yeah, bouncing, KRE bouncing, close below the 200 on the daily. And, the weekly had that failure there too. Nasty tail. Some of the other banks too. Blackstone lost the 200-day on a weekly close. That's 2 weeks in a row. Then you had like some of the others, yeah, Jeffries, Maine, ARCC. These had rebounds this week. but still not in good shape. And then, yeah, you had Zion, and if I can type it in, Zion and WAL getting bounces here. I did read that not Congress, but some legislative committee, which is, funny how they're all whining about the government. Oh, we can't get anything done because the government's closed. But as soon as Wall Street needs something, oh, yes, sir. Well, yeah, what can we do for you? But they're, looking to lower like requirements, I think, on leverage requirement ratio, I think from 9 to 8%. Either way, they're trying to accommodate. But I don't know. My thesis here still is that like it just makes way too much sense. Like everybody say, oh well, Trump likes stocks, so you don't want to like don't expect us to just go down. But what he likes more than stocks? He likes rates down, and it just seems like way too good of a thing. Like you get rates down, right, with TLT up. You get the Fed to cut. The Fed's not going to cut 50 basis points with Micron gapping up 10% a day every day, and then SMH up. They're not going to do QE, but they need an excuse, right? And what better excuse to just let a couple of PE firms that nobody cares about blow up, and take 200-300 points out of the S&P. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll just go full Venezuela, but I think it's just way easier to do it that way. Anyway, where were we? Let's go to broker dealers here. Yeah, right on the trend line. So holding the 100 MA, but still got the bear inside bar. Oil got hit a little bit, but it came back. A little beaten up there on the 4 hour. I probably would have tried taking this here off that divergence, but I don't love trading oil on the first day of a new contract. It just always gets wonky, and I didn't want to play with it. I don't know. That probably rebounds here, though. XLE, careful, got a bear inside bar there. XOP tried to play through, but it's got a trend line. So maybe these like gap down and test the low, and then they rebound. Maybe a failed break. Keep an eye out for that. There's OIH. Dollar bouncing right at 98. I need to hold. This could be a WV here. Gold, a lot going on. Down 1%. This was, all right, I've refrained from calling it this for a while, but last night was pure euphoria and absolute, like, massive froth. Take a look at the volume here. I'm pretty sure that's, like, some sort of record. Like, if it's not, it's close. You don't believe me? Okay. All right, let's look Globex here. There's yesterday's close. 20 minutes, we're up 150 basis points. Just because. And then we closed down 100 basis points. So I'll let you figure that out. But they did raise margin requirements. It probably should. Also, take a look at this too. And this might sound bullish, but I don't think it is at this rate. SLV borrowing fees are basically just like surging right now. That's not good because it means that people aren't going to want to short it. And if they can't short it and it comes down, there's nobody to stop it. So silver down 5, SIL down 7.68. These still held the 20-day though. They still held the 20-day. GDX down 6.76. GDXJ down, So, I mean, and heavy volume there. So if you want to try to fade it, you can with a stop above the high. I would do it on a weekly close, though, because a lot of the time they'll go up there and try and spike that high. But just know that people have been trying to short this for like a year, and it's left a pile of bodies as high as the rally. But if you want to try it here, you have defined risk, and I would say the volume definitely enough that you can do it, and it would, I mean, what are you risking, 2%? If it comes back down and tests this, you can make what's that, 700 at 42. That's 16.6%. I mean, at the very least, you take it back to 4K and the 20 MA, right? But yeah, just be careful with it. Platinum, massive engulfing, down 7. Palladium, massive engulfing, down almost 10. Copper, nothing burger. So nothing doing there. Bitcoin weak, but it did come off the lows nicely. This has just not been able to follow through on anything, though. It actually did. They didn't close it at, okay. I know there was a lot of interest at 60 on IBIT. I figured that would hold. I thought it might go to 61 today. Actually, I day traded this and that was the only other thing I did today. I had a break even exit. I think I made like $100 on Bitcoin, but yeah, it went to 61, didn't clear that. There was a lot of short puts in 60 to 61. But yeah, the follow through on Bitcoin has been very weak. And believe it or not, like honestly, crypto is like a freer market than stocks are at this point, given all the structured products that are out there. This is actually what I should expect the market to be doing right now. And it's stock market's not doing that because of all these stupid ass covered call ETFs that ruin everything. But yeah, Ethereum here still got the higher low, still holding the green bar. Scam Lana, which I like, is holding the 200 there. So we'll see. Maybe there's a little W there on the 4 hour. I don't really care. I'm not going to look at charts over the weekend. So, but yeah, if this comes down though, I think 95 gets interesting on Bitcoin. But right now it looks like a little bit of a possible failed breakdown at the 200. So overall, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Bulls got their work cut out. Clear the 20, clear 67, clear the trend line and then the high. Bears, you just want to smash 65.50 with conviction. I think you've done enough consolidation now. You shouldn't need more than another day or two if they want to drop it. So there's a window here for bears to do something, and they have stepped up. Right, you can't say that anymore. Like this was not a this was the like this was not this was the opposite of a V shape. Right, this is more of a dead cat than anything. Right, it's just chop. And all I know is that 2 months ago, if we had this and we gapped up the Monday, we'd be up at new highs within 2 days. Right? Like right here. I mean, like we had boom and then just didn't even test, didn't even get into the gap more than for like 2 seconds there. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Have a great weekend. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all next week.